Good morning to everyone watching this video. And if I'm not catching you in the morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So, if you're a fan of Nightwing and comics, you've probably read the newest Nightwing one, the main writer of this run being Dan Watters. This run takes off from where Tom Taylor left off, offering a much more darker version of Bloodhaven. It is safe to say that this run is quickly becoming my favorite depiction of Nightwing. It mostly deals with gangs and the militarization of an already corrupt police force. That being said, here are my likes and dislikes of this run. After Nightwing's sister, who is the current mayor, makes a deal with Olivia Pierce, which entails giving high tech weaponry to corrupt police officers, Nightwing tries to make a sort of peace agreement between the gangs while also trying to make deals with Olivia in order to stop the corruption from the inside. Now, already in issue 1, there are some very gruesome deaths at the hands of the three main gangs in this run, that being the Flyboys, Clean Cutters, and the Teddy's gang. Again, I enjoy how much darker this is than the much tamer Tom Taylor run, as it adds in more stakes and really demonstrates how dangerous Bloodhaven can be. Now, Tom Taylor's run didn't destroy his character, but I was definitely not as invested in the story arcs, especially the pirate arc. More than this, I thought it made him seem like this perfect hero with a very watered down character. In issue 2, Nightwing tries to resolve a situation between the Teddies and the police. Zani, who is the main villain, comments on his need to put on a show. This is pretty interesting to me. It's pretty apparent that Nightwing handles things worlds apart from Batman. Where Batman uses stealth, Nightwing tries to put on a show to distract and draw attention as a tactic to de escalate a situation. I also think this ties in really well to his character trait, that being the fact that he is from the circus and does secretly like being in the spotlight, as shown in other comics like The World's Finest. After this, Bryce's brother, a Teddy Gang member, is killed by the police officer. This is where things take a turn. We see Nightwing understanding the direness of the situation better, and this is also reflected by the Zani's monologue where he says, "You've got to make them care early on and make that danger real. That's when you've captured their hearts." It makes him realize that the situation is a lot harder than textbook gang violence and that it won't be solved by simple theatrics. All these moments point to key character traits in Nightwing, setting him as his own character while also giving him realistic reactions to such events. I do love how in the flashback, after Robin is clearly shaken from his meeting with Zani, Batman hugs him instead of the normal abusive parent rhetoric. We again see an interaction between Nightwing and Batman, and I do like this interaction as it is heartwarming in a way. Olivia Pierce's backstory is pretty dark and definitely very interesting to see. She tells him how just as she found a place in the world, Batman and Robin separated her from it, and with nowhere to go, she completely relies on Zani. This is a pretty consistent theme in this run, kids having no place to go, and then ending up with gangs and dangerous criminals. Nightwing now has to confront the idea that as a vigilante, his past actions may have unintentionally contributed to that cycle. Her face is finally revealed and it is genuinely terrifying, and the artwork is honestly amazing. I love the way that Nightwing's character is shown to be heavily influenced by that of his mentors. He is a beacon of hope like Superman, but is also criticized and blamed for all the things that go wrong in Bloodhaven, like that of Batman in Gotham. The ending of this arc is really sad as Bryce Morgan has to stay stuck down with the Zani in order to keep him contained. It is sweet to see that he is seen as a superhero to the children and is content with his life. Now, a bit of a weak point for me is the fact that Melinda consistently doesn't listen to Nightwing when he tries to tell her about how evil Pierce is. It makes sense why she cares about the city and the pressure on her due to the mayoral campaign, but after the fact that Nightwing specifically tells her about his history with Pierce, it seems a bit off character for her to disregard her brother. After this, the series takes a bit of a hit for me. The few issues that succeed the first six are a bit like filler to me. I do like how they showed that the person who shot Marcus in issue 2 was actually an awful person and how he would abuse people as much as the law would let him. Plus, the whole Nightmare plotline. Now, I do like fifth dimensional imps, but as of late, I feel like I'm seeing them everywhere and it gets overused. Going forward, the fact that Bryce is Nightwing Prime plays a very important part in the story, but I would have preferred a different direction than the usual shenanigans with the imps. Now, I'm not very on board with the fact that Nightwing recruited Bryce. It feels like a move for the story to keep the plot running. Bryce was ready to not have powers anymore, as he himself said how hard it was for him. Plus, Nightwing knew that Zani would know of Bryce and these powers, so I'm not really sure why he'd allow another child soldier. And of course, like clockwork, Bryce gets seriously injured in battle. I feel like after being Robin and seeing his successes take on the mantle of Robin, Nightwing would be apprehensive to have a 11-year-old fly around with the powers of Superman. The new arc after this involves the construction of a massive highway. There is a witch that haunts the highway and appears as a hitchhiker and is picked up by Nightwing. She claims that she was buried at the city's crossroads along with the others and is intent on revenge. Well, I guess nothing good ever does happen at the crossroads. Either way, it seems like this is going to lean into the dark part of Bloodhaven's history, which will definitely be amazing to see. Overall, I do love this run and it has definitely become one of my favorite ongoing runs in general. However, I'm not sure whether I would class this as my definitive favorite Nightwing run. This is mainly due to the fact that I love Chuck Dixon's more isolated storytelling, no love to the writer. What I do mean by this is that in his run, Nightwing is completely separated from the League and the Titans for the most part. He is an unknown resident in a rundown building in Bloodhaven and is friends with the other residents like Clancy Amygdala and John Law. He also has interesting villains like Torque. Me personally, I like the story arc more than when he becomes a millionaire in the current run. It gives it a more grounded storytelling. Objectively, one of the best parts of the run is when Dick Grayson decides to become a police officer to solve Bloodhaven's cop problem from the inside. But credit where credit's due, since he is a millionaire in the current arc, it obviously makes sense for him to solve the situation how he did in the run. That being said, both runs are unique in their own way and really highlight how a character does not need to have a recurring cast of characters or the same problems in every appearance. And me personally, that's the best part of fiction. That's all for today. Stay whelmed, and as a simple reminder, always look behind you because you never really know who's watching.